All people are your people, and their problems are your opportunities to turn night into day. The past is yours, learn from it. The present is yours, fulfill it. The future is yours, preserve it. The Bible is yours, know it. Science is yours, master it. The truth is yours, believe it. Cancer is yours, cure it. Faith is yours, claim it. Injustice is yours, correct it. Ignorance is yours, banish it. Children are yours, teach them. Sickness is yours, heal it. The arms race is yours, freeze it. Racism is yours, end it. War is yours, stop it. Hope is yours, affirm it. The world is yours, change it. African American life and history and soul and mind belong to everyone. We are 30 million U.S. citizens. We are the best educated English-speaking third world market in the world. 60,000 churches with 25 million members who give more than $50 million a week. We are 17 million potential voters. We are a living link to Africa, the richest continent on the face of the earth. Just as there is no baseball without Jackie Robinson and no football without Jerome Bettis, no basketball without Chauncey Billups, no music without Jesse Norman, Aretha Franklin, Kirk Franklin, and Beyonce. There is no history of education and no legacy of intellectual or artistic competence without W.B. Du Bois and Cornel West. Show me a George Washington and I'll show you a Crispus Attucks. Show me a Henry Wadsworth Longfellow and I will show you a Paul Laurence Dunbar. Show me a William Lloyd Garrison and I'll show you a David Walker. Show me a Joan of Arc and I'll show you a Harriet Tubman. Show me an Abraham Lincoln and I'll show you a Frederick Douglass. Show me an Albert Einstein and I will show you an Elijah McCoy. Show me a Thomas Edison and I will show you a Benjamin Banneker. Show me a Henry Ford and I'll show you a George Washington Carver. Show me a Theodore Roosevelt and I will show you a Booker T. Washington. Show me a Franklin Delano Roosevelt and I will show you an A. Philip Randolph. Show me a Dwight David Eisenhower and I will show you an Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Show me a John Fitzgerald Kennedy and I will show you a Martin Luther King Jr. Show me a Mother Teresa and I will show you a Harriet Tubman. Show me a Eleanor Roosevelt and I will show you a Rosa Parks. Show me a Douglas MacArthur and I'll show you a Colin Powell. Show me a Jack Nicklaus and I will show you a Tiger Woods. Show me a Babe Ruth and I will show you a Hank Aaron. Show me a Bill Gates and I will show you a Bill Cosby. Show me Lyndon Baines Johnson and I will show you a Thurgood Marshall. Show me a Jimmy Carter and I'll show you a Coleman Young. Show me a William Jefferson Clinton and I will show you a Barack Obama. Show me a Billy Graham and I will show you a Gardner Taylor. Show me the president of Harvard, Yale, Columbia, Chicago, Princeton, or Brandeis, and I will show you an Irving Reed. So do not be intimidated by life, but be enriched by life. Be enlarged by challenge. Winston Churchill was called upon to give the commencement address at Oxford University. And he stood at the podium for a long time and just looked at the people. And finally, he gave his profound address, which I can quote verbatim. He said, "Don't give up." I repeat, don't give up. And then he turned and took his seat. At first, there was stunned silence, and then there was uproarious applause. Not just because the speech was over, but because it was profound. Wake up, think up, look up, pray up, preach up, stand up, think up, stay up, but never give up. When I went to Harvard in 1958, I was a motherless child. I was the poorest person on the whole campus. Other students had fine clothes. I wore second-hand and third-hand, fifth-hand clothes. Other students spent their summers traveling. I spent my summers working in Ori Bakeries here in Detroit and Ford Motor Company foundry. Other students had cars. The only car I had was the ability to put one flat foot in front of the other and walk where I had to go. Other students had leather couches for their rooms, recliner chairs, oriental rugs, expensive art pieces, customized draperies and hi-fis, televisions and telephones. I had not even a transistor radio. I had a beat-up desk that John Adams must have used, a bookcase and a straight-back chair, an iron-frame bed and a mattress stuffed with straw. But I was the most happy person in the entire school. I felt so privileged just to be there, so that I could prove to others what my mother had told me, and that was I had a pretty good mind if I'd only use it. And I found out that I didn't need a television to learn theology. I didn't need furniture to learn epistemology. I didn't need a fine car to learn sociology and anthropology, and I didn't need designer clothes to remember the dates and details of church history. So I decided to fix up my room with what I had. I draped my windows with praise. I covered my walls with faith. I carpeted my floors with prayer. I filled every corner with thanks. I patted my desk with hard work and leaned back in the recliner chair of confidence, laid down on that mattress straw bed and looked up to the ceiling and drew help from beyond the ceiling. And I found out that whereas I was expected to flunk out or flop out or jump out or punch out, burn out, get kicked out, that I was able to walk out with a degree in my hand and honors on it. So I'm telling you, stop complaining about what you don't have and use what you do have, and you will discover that all things are yours, that Africa is your history and faith is your victory and the community is your family, and that if there's a job, you can do it. If there's a problem, you can solve it. If there's a need, you can fill it. If there's sickness, you can heal it. If there's a class, you can teach it. If there's a book, you can write it. If there's a game, you can win it. If there's a business, you can build it. If there's a gospel, you can preach it. If there's a song, you can sing it. If there's a hell, you can miss it. If there's a heaven, you can reach it. If there's a God, you can praise him, for all things are yours. And you must take what has been given you, take the wonderful heritage that you have received every day and say thank you. I'm going to use this to help someone else. Thank you. I wish I had 10,000 tongues just to say thank you. If I were Chinese, I'd say odia. If I were Danish, I'd say mangatakt. If I were Italian, I'd say grazia. If I were Hebrew, I would say toda rabba. If I were Greek, I would say eucharisto. If I were Japanese, I'd say domo arigato. If I were Portuguese, I'd say obrigado. If I were Spanish, I'd say muchas gracias. If I were French, I'd say merci beaucoup. If I were German, I'd say danke schön. If I were Russian, I'd say spasiba. If I were Kenyan, I'd say ashanta. If I were Nigerian, I'd say eshe pupo, mo dupe. If I were Zulu, I would say ingia bonga. If I were Sutu, I would say kiale boha. If I were deaf, I'd say, but since I am who I am, and I know what I know, and I love Martin Luther King Jr.'s memory, I'll just say thank you and try to live as he taught us to live.